Hey, it's Yay for Yarn, and today I'm going to show you my method for making an earwarmer headband on your Addi King size knitting machine. So let's get started. Now I'm making a headband earwarmer on the Addi King. I know normally most people do it on the Addi Pro, which is smaller, and they get a small tube and they somehow attach the ends together and put something on top of the join so that it covers the seam. The problem that I have with that method is that then you have to make different lengths of your tube to make different sizes for different people. With this method on the Addi King, you don't need to worry about the fit because the circumference of the Addi King is perfect for almost everybody's head circumference. And also, the method that I use to do this does not limit the stretch, the circumference stretch on the finished earwarmer, because you're using the horizontal grain of the knitted fabric for going around the head. So that has the most stretch. So this has a lot more stretch in it than the method with a small tube on the Addi Pro with the ends sewn together. So I'm using worsted weight yarn, Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn as usual. My machine loves this yarn. So I'm going to start with the first black needle, but what I'm going to do is a provisional cast on. And that just means that you're casting on with an extra piece of yarn, a piece of waste yarn, that you're going to remove when you go to finish it up. So I have this piece of waste yarn, and I'm going to use it to cast on all the way around for my provisional cast on. So usually when you do a regular cast on and knit with the same yarn, you would bring your cast on yarn up behind this last white needle into the yarn guide. But since we're not using this yarn to knit with, it's just going to fall, and it's not going to go into the hook of the last white needle because it's supposed to go behind it, and it is behind it even though it's falling. So now I'm going to start knitting with my yarn. I'm going to clear my row counter, and I'm going to knit 35 to 40 rows depending on whether you like a pretty wide earwarmer headband or a slightly narrower headband. Alright, so I have made 40 rows, but I went a little too far past the first black needle. So I'm just going to fix that real quick by making sure that when I go backwards, that the black needle hooks the stitch that was on there before. Just make sure it gets into the hook. And with this one, I'm just going to bring the needle down a little further, bring the old stitch over the needle tip, and same for this one. But I just still have to make sure that it hooks in the needle so it does not fall. Alright, so there's my last white needle that I just knit the last stitch in. I'm going to make sure now I can go this way, hook that last stitch, hook the last stitch into the white needle, and sink the needle. Now, because we did a provisional cast on, I'm also going to use a kind of provisional bind off. And that basically means I'm going to take another piece of waste yarn, to pick up all my stitches. So now I picked up all my stitches all the way around. And here is the finished piece of knitting. Now I have not yet cut my knitting yarn because I'm still going to use it. Because what we're going to do here to keep this from stopping the stretch, because normally when you do a seam to close the ends together, then that kind of limits the stretch that it has. And this has a pretty decent amount of stretch. So what we're going to do here, we have a very short Addi tube. We're just going to, if this is the right side, let's just turn it to the wrong side for a minute. We're going to take this end of the tube and this end of the tube, and we're going to fold them. I'm going to fold them together like so. And we're going to graft the ends together. This end to this end. So to learn how to graft an Addi tube, then you're going to need to go watch my grafting Addi tubes video. So I'm just going to graft this all the way around, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's completely grafted and the ends are woven in. Alright, so I've finished grafting my Earwarmer headband, and it has, if the grafting is done at an even gauge and done properly, then there will be no, it won't limit the stretch in the headband at all, because it's the same tension as the rest of the knitting. And this one I did 40 rows, which is about 3 inches wide when it's stretched onto a person's head. So that is my finished Addi Earwarmer headband. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.